Hey everybody, and welcome back. I know it's been a while since I put out my last video, which was what I got for my solstice swap gift. Um, let's just say 2020 decided it wasn't quite done with my husband and I, so it reached past the new year and gave us an extra kick. We've been dealing with some health issues, not COVID related, but still very serious health issues. So most of my focus and attention has gone to dealing with that in the past couple of months. I just, I didn't have the energy to sew or film or anything. Although I did get a bunch of knitting done, some of which I shared on my Instagram if you follow me over there. Thankfully, for now, we don't need to do any more stuff, but we do have to keep a close eye on things for a while. So, that also, luckily, coincided with the project that I'm about to start. So I want to tell you about that right now too. I'm just going to give a brief, really short, run over of it, because I'm going to be doing another kind of more formal intro video, but that's also a slightly more targeted video. You'll understand as I explain it, I promise. So, I am a member of the SCA. I know I've mentioned this in the past. I actually put up a video of me receiving my Award of Arms back in August, I believe it was. So I will link that over here if you want to go check that video out too. It's not a long one. It's just I was presented with this award in Ethereal court, and then the scroll commemorating it was mailed to me. So I open the scroll on camera and show everyone, and then you can see the clip of me getting my award. Excuse me. Anyway, so SCA. Here in the East Kingdom there is a barony called the Barony Beyond the Mountain, which I believe is in Connecticut, but don't hold me to that. I forgot to double check it before I actually started filming. They normally host what is called the Golden Seamstress competition at an actual weekend-long event. And when in-person events happen, or have happened, this would basically be 48 hours long. You start Friday night, you finish Sunday, and you make an outfit. And because we are still not allowed to do in-person events for the SCA, and we won't be able to for at least a few more months, depending on if the board of directors decides to extend it or not, they have opted to host this as an online event this year. So it's the Ethereal Golden Seamstress competition. And since it is online, I decided I would give it a shot and enter it. Now, you can either enter as an individual or as a group. I decided it was just easier for me to enter as an individual. That way I can work on my own weird schedule and not have to worry about coordinating with someone or multiple someone else's to get a finished project together at the end. So one of the requirements of this competition is also to do twice weekly check-ins or progress reports. So I'm actually going to be doing probably 1 to 2 minute vlogs twice a week for 4 weeks, just as little catch-ups of what I've gotten done. I will probably be posting these on Tuesdays and either Friday or Saturday, but I haven't decided for certain yet. It'll also depend on how much I've gotten done in that couple of days time period. So what I'm actually going to be working on myself is going to be my interpretation and recreation of the finds of a woman's what looks to be a Viking style dress that was found in Russia, in Sokov specifically, which is in the far western part of Russia, about 12 miles from the border with Estonia. My actual SCA persona is Polish, but it is really hard to find, information, especially in English, about Western Slavic cultures from, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th century. So that's why I've decided to do what is, to me, granted the finds are really small, but having looked at a lot of other people's research and speculation on it, it looks like, to me, honestly, a crossover between, you know, the Eastern Slavic Rus style and Viking style. So in my head, it makes sense that, you know, someone else who's on a trade route that doesn't necessarily go through Russia, but still goes from, you know, Scandinavian Viking area and down to the Byzantine Empire, would probably follow similar melding of clothing styles. Anyway, I'm actually going to be doing a more detailed intro video and talk a little bit more about this, and that will be posted on Saturday, which is the 27th, which is the first day of the competition. But I don't want to go super in depth in it in this video. I did mention that it is, you know, 4 weeks, make an outfit. There are some exceptions for things that can be pre-made, and I actually did start pre-making one thing, and only one thing that I'm pre-making, which I'm almost done with. So I've just got a little bit more to do, and that is, I have been weaving a brocade band right here on my little ankle loom. I think it'll be easier if I just do a separate B-roll footage. So this is actually my personal interpretation of Burqa 22. So I just sat there, charted out how I thought it would look, and then I started weaving it nice and easy. Using this absolutely gorgeous blue, cornflower blue silk, which is so pretty and is the finest silk that I have woven with so far. It's actually even finer than some of the linen thread I have that I've used in other projects. And my metallic is just a modern gold embroidery thread. So I've got a couple more inches to weave on this, and then once this is done, I should say, once I finish the brocade weaving, I'm just going to finish up and weave up as much of my warp as I can, just plain without any pattern in it. And then when it is woven, what I'll be doing during the competition is turning it into a headband. And I chose to weave this to about 20 inches long with the brocade, because I don't want the brocade to I chose to make the patterned part of this band only about 20 inches long. My head is not 20 inches around, but I don't want to then have quote-unquote wasted brocade, because, you know, back in the 10th century when this would have been originally made, metal thread was really expensive, so you wouldn't waste that in, you know, either the part of the band that gets tied into a knot or overlapped or anything. So that's why I am not weaving this as a full headband by itself. It's actually going to be trimmed down to basically only the metallic part showing, and then mounted onto a piece of linen, and that will be the headband itself, and that's how it's the linen that will close, not the woven silk. Again, I'm gonna go more into detail on this as I work on it. So I hope you decide to follow along as I work on this big project. I am not going to be posting these videos or listing them on the costume guide, probably, simply because there are going to be so many of them. So if you do want to follow along with this and you aren't subscribed, I highly recommend you do. That way you'll actually see them as they're posted. I will also link to the contest. It's all going to be hosted and kept organized through a WordPress blog, so I will link that below so you can follow along there with what I'm doing as well as see the other competitors. And one of the things I'm really excited about is one of the other people who have entered this is my fellow costuber Fay Sterling, and I highly recommend you check out her channel as well, which I'll also link. She has done a lot of really fun research and stuff into most specifically like high medieval stuff, 14th century, 13th and 14th century, and she is a big proponent of the supportive shifts. So check out those videos of hers as well. I'm actually going to be joining her supportive shift cult at some point, probably maybe April or May. I haven't quite decided, or I should say, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it's going to be sometime, probably shortly after I finish this competition. And I'm planning on making a version of the Langberg bra for myself, so I will also be sharing that as a future video, but that's post-competition, so that's a whole nother thing. So, I think that's everything I need to say in this video. It got a little rambly, so I apologize for that, but I got to get back into the swing of things. We'll get this back down again, I promise. Like I said before, subscribe if you want to keep seeing stuff, especially if you want to follow along as I work on my project. I've also got my Instagram, which I will post pictures to. Probably, I'll be honest, I'm not always the best with keeping my Instagram updated. And yeah, so, you know, like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, all that fun stuff, you know. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye.